Can archaeologists accurately describe and explain everything they find? No, of course they can't, and we shouldn't expect it either. We shouldn't expect scientists to provide all the answers. There are also limits to your knowledge and skills. We have to accept that there are some ancient mysteries that can't be solved, and you'll see some of the best ones in this video. Number 1. The same ancient shipwreck that gave us the Antikythera mechanism revealed another treasure in June 2022, when marine archaeologists located what is believed to be the lost head of a 2,000-year-old statue of the Roman god Hercules. The shipwreck, which lies off the coast of Greece, was discovered by sponge divers in 1900 and has been under constant archaeological evaluation ever since. It is thought to have been in its current position since around 60 BC. The marble head has gone unnoticed until now because it is in such poor condition that it was thought to be a deformed rock. It was only possible to identify it as a head after divers also found the base of the statue, complete with the lower parts of its legs. The head is not the only notable discovery at the dive site recently. Archaeologists have also found 2 human teeth embedded in marine deposits, confirming that at least one person did not escape the ship before it sank. Historians think this 130-foot-long ship was headed to Rome from somewhere in the eastern Mediterranean when she sank during a storm, but they hope to learn more from these new discoveries. Number 2. We know that the Black Death was the deadliest plague to ever hit the face of the earth. We also know that the plague peaked between 1346 and 1352. What we've never known is where the plague started, but that might have changed recently. After examining thousands of medieval tombstones, researchers believe they may have traced the origins of the Black Death to a specific, unlikely location. If they are right, it began near Lake Issyk-Kul, in what is now Kyrgyzstan. A disproportionately high number of burials took place in the nearby Barana and Karajigak cemeteries between 1338 and 1339, with the cause of death listed as pestilence. Scientists opened the graves of 3 of the individuals and identified plague bacteria in all of them. From there, the plague probably reached Western Europe on merchant ships and then killed about 50% of Europe's total population. Although rats were once thought to be responsible for the transmission of the Black Death, it is now thought more likely that it was transmitted by infected fleas. Number 3. The Viking civilization may have started in Scandinavia, but it spread across many lands. We know that the Vikings came to North America, so comparatively, Iceland was a short trip for them. In May 2022, a human-made cave was discovered in the small Icelandic village of Odi, and archaeologists are convinced that Viking settlers are responsible for its existence. Odi once belonged to a powerful Viking clan called the Odvarjar, notably led by Saemundr the Scholar, who lived between 1056 and 1133 and wrote much of what we know about Norway's early kings. Excavation in the newly discovered cave system probably began during his time. Experts believe it could have been a nahir, a type of medieval stable for cattle and horses. The work of archaeologists inside the cave is risky, because it is carved from soft sandstone and could collapse at any time. There are likely still discoveries to be made in the deepest corners of the cave, but finding a safe way to explore them could take archaeologists time. Number 4. In Egypt, archaeologists remain baffled by the discovery of a collection of skeletons and pottery in May 2022. It is not the fact that they found human remains that baffles them, but the fact that the skeletons were found all together and in the fetal position. This city, known as Baranas, was an important port on the Red Sea during the time of ancient Egypt. We do not know whether the 7 people in the tombs were sailors or maritime traders, but they were buried in stone boxes with the bones of their lower limbs resting on their chests. This burial method is so rare that it has never been recorded before in Egypt. Scientific analysis of the remains suggests that the burial occurred about 1,500 years ago. The bodies could not have been naturally placed in this way, so they were probably tied with rope around the neck and legs. Although it sounds like punishment, the grave goods inside the tombs suggest that these people were elite members of society. It's a mystery we probably won't solve anytime soon. Number 5. Returning to Europe, we find the statues known as the Giants of Monte Prima, located near Cabris in the west of Sardinia, an island that belongs to Italy. They are impressive large creations, each of them measures 8 meters high, and have large flat disc-shaped eyes that make those who observe them feel some discomfort. They have stood the test of time, but no one knows exactly how long they have been standing there. Most experts place the date of its creation between 3,100 and 2,800 years ago, and point to the Nuragic civilization as the most likely builders. Unfortunately, our records on the Nuragic people are not extensive. They were expelled from their lands by the Roman Empire about 2,200 years ago, and the Romans practically erased any trace of their existence. However, it seems that the Romans appreciated these sculptures because they left them intact. The discovery in 1974 of ancient tombs near the statue suggests that they may have been placed there to guard the dead, although this is only speculation. Number 6. During the year 2022, archaeology in Ukraine. In the midst of these difficult times, an unexpected discovery emerged in May in Odessa, a collection of ancient Greek amphorae. This find, made during routine excavations in the city, revealed artifacts dating back approximately 2,500 years, when Odessa was known as Odessus and was a city founded by the Romans. These amphorae not only stand silent witnesses to the region's ancient history, but also offer a fascinating glimpse into life and trade in that distant period. Its discovery provides a ray of cultural hope in a context where more than 120 sites of historical and cultural importance have suffered damage due to recent events. Despite ongoing challenges, local archaeologists and experts are working to preserve and study these valuable artifacts, enriching our understanding of the past even amid the present adversities in Ukraine. Number 7. In the mysterious setting of Pumapunku, a megalithic complex located in the imposing heights of Bolivia, a fascinating story is woven that challenges our perceptions of the antiquity and technical capacity of ancient civilizations. For centuries, it was believed that this ritual enclave was erected by the Aymara people around the year 600 AD. However, recent research, supported by radiocarbon analysis, has revealed surprising findings. Some components of this complex date back to 100 years BC. If this evidence is true, it could profoundly alter our understanding of human development in the region, turning this discovery into an unprecedented archaeological milestone. By exploring the ruins of Pumapunku, scientists have managed to reconstruct the ancient appearance of this enigmatic place. Images emerge before us of a set of structures arranged on a hill, surrounded by impressive masonry. Most disconcerting, however, is the construction process itself, the transportation of enormous blocks of stone, some weighing several hundred tons, from considerable distances, without the aid of modern machinery. How did the ancient inhabitants of this region manage to move such loads through inhospitable and rugged terrain? This enigma has fueled speculation about possible extraterrestrial influences on the construction of Pumapunku, challenging the limits of our historical and technological understanding. Number 8. The Temple of Jupiter in Lebanon, located in the ancient city of Baalbek. At first glance, the ruined temple might look like a typical ancient Eurasian relic. However, this temple is exceptional. It features one of the most amazing blocks of rock on the planet, known as the Pregnant Woman's Stone. Approximately 2,000 years old and weighing more than 1,000 tons, this stone has impressive dimensions, 20 meters long, 4 meters wide and high. What is notable is that the block is polished to the extremes, despite the wear and tear of time. The intrigue increases when considering that only part of the stone is shown, since it fell and has become impossible to lift. Even with the presence of advanced modern machines, this task would be practically unapproachable. It would require several dozen powerful cranes that cannot be located in the area. The mystery remains: if modern technologies cannot handle this stone, how did the ancients achieve its creation 2,000 years ago? It is an enigma that involves the meticulous treatment and polishing of the stone, as well as its transportation. However, the stone of the pregnant woman is only one element of Baalbek and its temple complex. At this location, there are numerous colossal blocks, carved columns, and other extremely heavy objects, each weighing around 800 tons. Scholars still cannot understand who the builders of these buildings were and, most intriguingly, why they needed them. This mystery deepens even further when we consider that Lebanon was under Roman rule and was not near the center of power of the empire when these monumental structures were erected on the outskirts. It is possible that the truth behind the construction in Baalbek is different, perhaps representative of an advanced civilization. Some scholars even hold the theory that only giants could have been the architects of these structures. A recently deceased researcher was convinced that the evidence supported the existence of extraterrestrials, arguing that how could such majestic blocks of stone be created by humans? The magnificence lies not only in the size of the individual buildings, but also in their decoration and treatment. Number 9. The iconic monolithic human figures of Easter Island, known as Moai, have also been spotted by divers under the sea. Nearly 900 of these statues exist on land, built by the ancient Rapanui inhabitants of the remote Pacific island. However, some Moai have been found partially submerged along the island's shores. How these statues, called Moai, ended up underwater is unknown. They could have been covered by rising seas or used in rituals. An impressive Moai more than 16 feet tall was found near Anakina Beach in 2009, facing the ocean. Some experts believe it was originally on land and eroded towards the sea over time. Other nearby Moai appear to be in different positions. These findings underline that we still do not know aspects of Rapanui culture, including their practices with statues. The Rapanui believed that Moai represented ancestral spirits and were linked to mythological leaders. Some theories suggest that certain Moai could have been intentionally submerged to shift power between leaders. These statues, whether on land or underwater, remain enigmatic, evoking ancient stories and lost beliefs. Number 10. In 1912, the intrepid American bibliophile Wilfrid Voynich acquired a unique literary treasure from the hands of Italian monks. A mysterious manuscript that has baffled scholars and the curious alike ever since. This ancient parchment, composed of 248 pages of peculiar dimensions, 22.5 by 6 centimeters, is a compendium of knowledge that defies all conventional categorization. Divided into various sections ranging from botany and astronomy to biology and recipes, the manuscript presents one enigma after another. The most disconcerting thing are the illustrations that accompany each entry. These represent objects and phenomena that defy human understanding, with medicinal plants and celestial bodies that have no parallel in known reality. Speculation about the authorship and purpose of the manuscript has been as abundant as the pages that compose it. Although scholars have determined that the manuscript dates back to the 14th century, the origin of its contents remains an unsolved enigma. Over the years, countless attempts have been made to decipher the incomprehensible text that fills its pages, but all have been unsuccessful. This frustrating lack of progress has fueled outlandish theories, including the suggestion that the manuscript could be a chronicle of life on an alien world. However, all these conjectures lack solid evidence. For these reasons, the Voynich manuscript has acquired a legendary reputation as one of the most elusive and captivating enigmas in the world of ancient books. Its content challenges the limits of human knowledge, inviting future generations to continue searching for answers in its intricate pages. Number 11. In Egypt, more than 5,000 years ago, people were already creating impressive jewelry with meteorites. They were pioneers in the world of jewelry, using these rare space rocks to make decorative objects. Recently, scientists made an astonishing discovery. They found a bead made from an iron meteorite that dates back to around 3,500 to 3,600 BC. They were believed to have magical powers, such as healing properties. People thought that wearing jewelry made from iron meteorites with their nickel content could balance and strengthen the body and even purify the blood. These special beads were found in 1911 in the Giza cemetery, not far from Cairo. What's interesting is that they were created thousands of years before Egypt entered the Iron Age, making them some of the oldest examples of iron use in Egypt. What makes them even more special is their composition. Researchers found that they had a lot of nickel, which is a sign that they came from meteorites, and a special crystal pattern called Widmanstatin. These patterns only form in meteorites that come from asteroids in the early days of the solar system. Although some people were doubtful at first and thought that perhaps the high nickel content came from the smelting, later research showed that this was not the case. These beads were formed without heat, meaning they were cold-worked. Number 12. A team of archaeologists led by a man supposedly named Chipu explored the wild region of the Bayan-Kara Mountains, on the border between China and Tibet. That's when they came across strange stone discs, each about 12 inches in diameter, with a spiral groove extending from the center to the edge, inscribed with small hieroglyphs. These strange finds became known as the Dropa stones. They were immediately studied, but initial attempts to decipher these symbols did not reveal much, and the discovery did not cause a stir outside of some obscure reports. It wasn't until several decades later, when a Russian scientist named Dr. Tsamnui supposedly cracked the code. According to him, the hieroglyphs tell the amazing story of a spaceship from a distant planet that crashed in the Bayan-Kara Mountains 12,000 years ago. The occupiers, known as the Dropa, found themselves stranded on Earth and, despite their peaceful intentions, were misunderstood and rejected by local tribes. Dr. Tsumi also stated that the Dropa stones are compact discs of ancient knowledge, alien knowledge. You're probably wondering why these enigmatic and intriguing stones aren't better known. Well, archaeologists doubt its existence and authenticity. So far, none of these stones are available for study in any known museum or research center. Number 13. Baigong pipes, also known as Baigong iron pipes or Delinga pipes, are mysterious features found in the remote Qinghai province, China. These structures resemble pipes and are believed to be ancient pipes laid out on and near White Mountain, also known as Mount Bang, located about 25 kilometers southwest of the city of Delinga. Iron pipes range in size from small and barely noticeable to some up to 40 centimeters in diameter. But what is so strange about them? Well, there's the fact that they are estimated to be thousands of years old, which shouldn't be possible considering they are made of iron, along with materials like silica and calcium oxide. Additionally, about 8% of the pipes could not be identified by the researchers who studied them. This led to conspiracy theories about the pipes being of extraterrestrial origin. The general consensus about these pipes today is that rather than being pipes, they are actually the fossilized roots of ancient trees in the mountains. To many, this theory makes more sense, but many continue to believe in the paranormal and extraterrestrial theory surrounding the pipes. Number 14. King Tutankhamun's Space Dagger. In the 1920s, Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered, sparking Egyptomania with everyone focused on the discovery of the young pharaoh's never-before-seen tomb. One artifact was overlooked, a dagger that was buried alongside thousands of other treasures. This weapon is now known as King Tut's space dagger. The dagger's blade, made of meteoritic iron, was found to have a high nickel content. For a long time, researchers were puzzled by the composition of this meteorite. After all, it contains material that appears to be from another planet. With all the theories surrounding the ancient Egyptians being connected to aliens, many believe that the dagger was another gift given by aliens who visited the ancient Egyptians. This may sound absurd, but there is some truth in this. Recent studies revealed that the dagger contained almost the same composition as the Kar meteorite, found at Meram-Mitra near Alexandria. However, rather than being a gift from aliens, the dagger's craftsmanship suggests that it was likely not produced in Egypt, but was probably a prestigious gift from the Mitanni Empire to Tutankhamun's grandfather. The material of the dagger and the techniques used to create it suggest a sophisticated level of craftsmanship. For this reason, many still believe that the young pharaoh's dagger is not of human origin.